God always does things greater than I can imagine or even think to ask. So when I was at my first appointment, which is a 3-point circuit, I did a 10-week Bible study at Payne Springs United Methodist Church. And to get a picture of this, most of the people in the church had their name on their tombstone already outside, and it was right behind, the cemetery was right behind the church. And I asked them at the end of 10 weeks, what is God calling you to do? And they said, well, we're going to have Vacation Bible School. And I was thinking, the average age is 75, okay. And we're going to build an education building with a kitchen. And I said, you know, you can divide the building that we have now, and half of it could be education building, because plenty of room, only 25 attending. And the other man said, we're going to have choir. I said, well, you can put everybody now in the choir loft, you know. And the kicker for me was Friday night fish fries. Now, who's going to come to a rural country church in the middle of the dark with a cemetery in back of it for a fish fry? Well, lo and behold, Vacation Bible School had 40 kids. They built this education building with a kitchen. They had Friday night fish fries, and there was about 90 people there every Friday night. What amazed me about that was that the church, the people in the church, probably had a greater faith in God than I did, because all of their feelings or thoughts were just incredible. I couldn't imagine with a church that small having Vacation Bible School, building a building and paying for it in less than 8 months, and having choir and Friday night fish fries. But the community loved it. To come to a hometown cooked meal, fresh made pies, and the people were just so welcoming. My plans when I was in undergraduate school was to be I guess, the future owner of my father's business. And he sold it my junior year. And I laid my head down on the desk and said, what in the world am I going to do? Because that was my plan, was to help run his business. And so I got involved in a lot of things. The Wesley Foundation, began visiting with some pastors. I actually was in a study with Janice and Bob. And not that I knew all that much about them at that point. Knowing she's going to become bishop someday, it was kind of neat to know that now. But so I just looked into going to seminary, see what it was like. I loved it. I was one of the first 7 to take an internship, but at the same time I was employed full-time at Jesse H. Jones Library as an accountant, because my degree was in business. And the frustration for me was I wanted to be more in the church and less in the library doing accounting. Like, what will matter 100 years from now that I balance those books, you know? But it was mattering to me what was happening in the church. And so I went back to seminary, finished, got my first appointment before I graduated in February, and that was the 3-point charge at Eustis. I stayed there longer than anyone in the history of the church. So my call was kind of like in phases of getting affirmation from God that I'm doing what God wants me to do with my life, and there's just no greater joy than loving people and loving God and being effective.